There is a moment, usually late at night, when the world becomes quiet. The streets outside fall still, the lights in your home dim. Your devices rest silently on your desk. Your phone, your laptop, your Wi-Fi router, all of them glowing faintly like sleeping creatures. And in that silence, something else awakens. It doesn't make a sound. It doesn't break a window. It doesn't force a door. It doesn't leave footprints on your floor or fingerprints on your doorknob. It slips through the digital cracks of your life the way cold air slips under a door, unnoticed, unchallenged, and uninvited. You don't see it, you don't feel it, you don't even know it's there, but it knows you. It knows your habits, when you wake up, when you sleep, when you shop, when you pay bills. It knows your weaknesses, the old password you reused, the update you ignored, the link you clicked without thinking. It knows your digital house better than you do, and the most terrifying part, it doesn't need to attack loudly. It only needs to wait. This is the world of cybersecurity, a world where the most dangerous intruders are the ones you never hear coming. A world where silence is not peace, but a warning. Welcome to Knowitrix, Module 2, Cybersecurity Basics. Today, you will understand cybersecurity not as a technical subject, but as a living, breathing system that protects your digital life the same way walls, locks, and guards protect your home. And once you see the digital world through this lens, you will never look at your devices the same way again. Cybersecurity is often described using complex terminology: encryption, intrusion detection, malware analysis, network segmentation, zero-trust architecture. These words are accurate, but they fail to capture the essence of what cybersecurity truly is. Because cybersecurity is not just a technical discipline, it is a human discipline. Cybersecurity is the art of protecting everything you value in the digital world: your identity, your privacy, your money, your memories, your business, your reputation, from people who want to exploit it. To understand cybersecurity, you must stop thinking of it as something that exists inside computers. Instead, imagine it as something that exists inside your life. Your digital life is not separate from your real life. It is an extension of it. Your phone is not just a device. It is your diary, your wallet, your photo album, your communication hub, your identity card, your business tool, your entertainment center, and your personal archive. Your laptop is not just a machine. It is your work, your creativity, your financial records, your passwords, your projects, your dreams, and your vulnerabilities. Your online accounts are not just websites. They are doors into your life, and every door can be opened. Every window can be exploited. Every weakness can be used. Cybersecurity is the system that protects these doors, these windows, and these weaknesses. It is the digital equivalent of building a house, securing it, monitoring it, and ensuring that no one enters without your permission. But unlike a physical house, your digital house has no walls you can touch, no locks you can see, and no guards you can hear. Everything happens in silence. Everything happens in milliseconds. Everything happens in the shadows. This is why cybersecurity must be understood through analogies, because analogies make the invisible world visible. They turn abstract concepts into real-world experiences. They help you understand how hackers think, how systems fail, and how you can protect yourself. So in this module, we will explore cybersecurity through the lens of something you already understand deeply: your home. Because if you can understand how to protect your home, you can understand how to protect your digital life. Imagine standing in front of your home, the place where you keep everything important. You know every corner of it. You know which door creaks, which window sticks, which light flickers. You know where you keep your valuables, where you hide your documents, where you store your memories. Now imagine that this house is not made of bricks and cement. Instead, it is made of data. layers and layers of information stacked together like digital walls. Your photos form one wall. Your emails form another. Your bank accounts form the foundation. Your social media accounts form the windows. Your passwords form the locks. Your devices form the rooms. This is your digital house. Every time you create a new account, you add a new room. Every time you install an app, you add a new window. Every time you connect to Wi-Fi, you open a new door. Every time you share information online, you place a new item inside your house. And just like a real house, your digital house contains things that matter deeply to you. Your identity, the core of who you are. Your financial information, the key to your livelihood. Your personal memories, the moments you can never recreate. Your business secrets, the ideas that define your career. Your private conversations, the thoughts you share only with trusted people. Your reputation, the image you present to the world. Now imagine that someone wants to enter this house, not to admire it, not to visit you, but to take something from you. In the physical world, a thief might break a window or force a door. But in the digital world, the intruder doesn't need to break anything. They only need to find a weakness, a forgotten password, an outdated app, an unprotected Wi-Fi network, a careless click. And once they find that weakness, they slip inside silently. This is why cybersecurity matters, because your digital house is constantly exposed to threats you cannot see, because the intruder does not need to be in your city, your country, or even your continent. They can be thousands of miles away, sitting in a dark room, scanning millions of digital houses at once, waiting for one of them to leave a window open. Your digital house is valuable. Your digital house is vulnerable. Your digital house needs protection. And that protection begins with understanding the systems that keep intruders out: the locks, the keys, the guards, the cameras, and the walls. When you think of a lock, you imagine something physical, a metal mechanism on your door, a device that separates safety from danger. You trust it because you can see it. You can touch it. You can hear the click when it closes. But in the digital world, your locks are invisible. They don't make a sound. They don't shine under the light. They don't rust or break physically. Instead, they exist as combinations of characters, letters, numbers, symbols that form the first barrier between your digital house and the intruder waiting outside. A password is not just a word. It is the digital equivalent of a lock that protects everything you own. But unlike a physical lock, which can only be picked by someone standing at your door, a digital lock can be attacked by someone sitting anywhere in the world. A hacker in another country can attempt to break into your account without ever stepping near you. They don't need tools. They don't need crowbars. They don't need to risk being caught. All they need is software, automated programs that can try millions of password combinations every second. This is why weak passwords are not just careless, they are dangerous. A password like 123456 or password is the digital equivalent of installing a cheap lock on your front door, one that any intruder can open with a hairpin. It doesn't matter how strong your walls are or how advanced your security system is. If your lock is weak, your entire house is vulnerable. The frightening part is that most people underestimate how quickly a weak password can be cracked. A hacker doesn't sit there typing guesses manually. They use a technique called brute force, where a program automatically tries every possible combination. For a simple password, this process takes seconds. For a slightly complex one, minutes. For a reused password, it takes no time at all, because hackers already have databases of billions of stolen passwords from previous breaches. And this is where the real danger lies. Password reuse. When you use the same password for multiple accounts, you are essentially using the same lock for every door in your digital house. If one door is compromised, even a small, insignificant one, the intruder now has access to everything. It's like losing a single key that opens your home, your office, your car, your safe, and your storage unit. This is exactly what happened in the infamous LinkedIn 2012 breach, where 117 million passwords were leaked. Many of those passwords were reused across banking accounts, email accounts, and corporate systems. Hackers didn't need to break into those systems individually. They simply used the stolen passwords like master keys, walking through digital doors that were never meant to be opened. A strong password, therefore, is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It must be long enough to resist brute force attacks, complex enough to avoid dictionary attacks, and unique enough to ensure that one breach doesn't compromise your entire life. A password manager becomes essential, not because you are incapable of remembering passwords, but because your digital house has too many doors to rely on memory alone. A strong lock protects your home. A strong password protects your world. Section 4. Authentication is your key. A lock is meaningless without a key. In the physical world, your key is a small piece of metal that proves you belong inside your home. Without it, the lock is useless. In the digital world, your key is authentication, the method you use to prove that you are the rightful owner of your account. But unlike physical keys, digital keys come in different forms. Some are things you know, like passwords or PINs. Some are things you have, like your phone or a hardware token. And some are things you are, like your fingerprint or your face. Each type of key adds a layer of certainty that you are who you claim to be. The problem is that most people rely on only one type of key, something they know. But knowledge can be stolen, passwords can be guessed, PINs can be observed, security questions can be answered by someone who knows you or someone who has studied your social media. A single key is not enough to protect a digital house that contains your entire life. This is why multi-factor authentication (MFA) exists. MFA is the digital equivalent of double locking your door, using a key and a fingerprint scanner. Even if someone steals your key, they still cannot enter. Even if someone guesses your password, they still cannot access your account. Even if someone tricks you into revealing your credentials, they still cannot impersonate you. MFA transforms your digital house from a vulnerable structure into a fortress. It forces the intruder to bypass multiple layers of protection, each one requiring a different type of attack. A hacker may be able to steal your password, but they cannot steal your fingerprint. They may be able to intercept your login attempt, but they cannot replicate your face. They may be able to guess your PIN, but they cannot access your authenticator app. This is why companies like Google have reported that enabling MFA reduces account takeovers by over 99%. It is not because MFA is perfect. It is because most intruders are opportunists. They look for easy targets. They look for unlocked doors. They look for houses with weak locks and no alarms. When they encounter MFA, they move on to someone else. Authentication is not just a key. It is proof of identity. It is the digital handshake that verifies you belong inside your own house. And in a world where intruders are constantly searching for weaknesses, having multiple keys is not paranoia. It is survival. Even with strong locks and strong keys, you still install CCTV cameras in your home. You do this not because you expect danger every day, but because you want to know what happens when you are not watching. You want to see who approaches your door, who lingers near your windows, who tries to enter without permission. In the digital world, CCTV cameras take the form of monitoring systems, tools that watch your network, your devices, and your accounts for suspicious activity. These systems don't sleep. They don't blink. They don't get distracted. They observe everything, all the time. silently recording patterns and detecting anomalies. Monitoring is essential because cyber attacks are rarely loud. They don't announce themselves with broken glass or forced doors. They happen quietly, slowly, and strategically. A hacker may enter your system and remain hidden for days, weeks, or even months. This period is known as dwell time, and it is one of the most dangerous aspects of modern cyber attacks. During dwell time, the intruder studies your digital house. They map your rooms. They observe your habits. They identify your valuables. They wait for the perfect moment to strike. And unless you have monitoring systems in place, you will never know they were there until it is too late. This is exactly what happened in the Equifax breach, where attackers remained inside the network for 76 days before being detected. They didn't rush. They didn't panic. They moved slowly, quietly, and methodically, extracting sensitive information without triggering alarms. It was the digital equivalent of a thief living in your attic, watching your every move, waiting for the right moment to steal everything. Monitoring tools like SIEM systems, intrusion detection systems, and network traffic analyzers act as your digital eyes. They detect unusual behavior, a login from a strange location, a sudden spike in data transfer, an unauthorized access attempt. They alert you before the intruder can cause damage. They give you the chance to respond before the attack becomes catastrophic. Without monitoring, you are blind. With monitoring, you are aware. And awareness is the first step toward defense. Imagine standing at the entrance of a high-security building. A guard stands at the gate, scanning every person who approaches. They check IDs, they verify permissions, they block anyone who looks suspicious. They allow only authorized individuals to enter. This guard is your first line of defense, the one who decides who gets in and who stays out. In the digital world, this guard is your firewall. A firewall examines every piece of data that tries to enter or leave your network. It checks where the data is coming from, where it is going, what it contains, and whether it matches known patterns of malicious behavior. If something looks suspicious, the firewall blocks it instantly. If something looks safe, it allows it through. But modern firewalls do more than just block or allow traffic. They learn, they adapt, they evolve. They use machine learning to identify new threats, analyze behavior, and predict attacks before they happen. They are not static guards. They are intelligent defenders who grow stronger with every attempt made against them. Without a firewall, your digital house is exposed. Every door is open. Every window is unprotected. Every intruder has a clear path inside. With a firewall, every attempt to enter is scrutinized. Every suspicious movement is challenged. Every unauthorized request is denied. A firewall is not just a guard. It is a guardian, one that stands between your digital life and the silent intruder waiting outside. Every house, no matter how strong its doors or how advanced its locks, has windows. Some are large and obvious, others small and hidden behind curtains. Some are reinforced with metal bars, while others are old, fragile, and easy to break. In the physical world, you instinctively know that windows are weak points. You check them before leaving home. You close them during storms. You secure them at night. You understand that a thief doesn't always need to break the door. Sometimes all they need is a window left slightly open. Hackers spend their lives searching for these digital windows. They scan millions of systems every day, looking for a single weakness, a forgotten update, a misconfigured port, a default password, an unpatched operating system. They don't need to break anything. They don't need to force their way in. They simply slip through the opening you didn't know you left behind. This is exactly what happened during the WannaCry ransomware attack in 2017. The vulnerability that allowed WannaCry to spread was not new. It had been discovered months earlier. Microsoft had already released a patch to fix it. But millions of people and thousands of organizations ignored the update. They left their digital windows open, and the intruder walked right in. WannaCry didn't need sophisticated hacking techniques. It didn't need social engineering. It didn't need insider access. It simply exploited a vulnerability that should have been closed. Within hours, it spread across the world, locking hospitals, banks, government systems, and businesses. It was one of the fastest-spreading cyber attacks in history, and it succeeded because people underestimated the importance of closing their digital windows. Vulnerabilities are not signs of weakness. They are signs of complexity. Every system, no matter how advanced, has them. What matters is how quickly you identify them, how consistently you patch them, and how seriously you treat them. A single unpatched vulnerability can compromise an entire network. A single outdated application can expose your entire digital house. Your windows must be closed. Your vulnerabilities must be patched, because the intruder is always watching, always scanning, always waiting for the moment you forget. Section 8. Social engineering is opening the door yourself. There is a type of intruder who doesn't break windows or pick locks. They don't force their way in. They don't rely on vulnerabilities or technical weaknesses. Instead, they rely on something far more powerful: human trust. In the physical world, imagine someone knocking on your door wearing a courier uniform. They hold a package with your name on it. They smile politely. They speak confidently. They look harmless. You don't question them. You don't check their ID. You don't verify the package. You simply open the door and let them in. This is social engineering, the art of manipulating people into giving access voluntarily. In the digital world, social engineering is the most common and most successful attack method. Hackers don't need to break your systems if they can trick you into opening the door. They send emails that look legitimate. They create websites that look identical to real ones. They impersonate banks, employers, government agencies, delivery companies, and even your friends. They use fear, urgency, curiosity, and trust to make you act without thinking. A phishing email is not just a message. It is a psychological weapon. It is crafted to bypass your logic and target your instincts. It may warn you that your account is locked, that your payment failed, that your package is delayed, that your password needs resetting. It may appear to come from a trusted source: your bank, your boss, your service provider. And in the moment of panic or urgency, you click the link. You enter your credentials, you open the attachment, and the intruder steps inside. This is how some of the biggest cyber attacks in history began, not with technical exploits, but with human error. The $100 million Google and Facebook scam was not a result of hacking. It was a result of social engineering. A single hacker impersonated a legitimate vendor and sent fake invoices. The companies paid them without verifying. The intruder didn't break in. They were invited in. Social engineering works because humans are predictable. We trust familiar logos. We respond to urgency. We fear losing access. We want to fix problems quickly. Hackers exploit these instincts with precision. The only defense against social engineering is awareness. You must learn to question everything: every email, every link, every message, every request. You must treat every unexpected communication as a potential threat. You must verify before you trust. Because in the digital world, the intruder doesn't need to force the door. They only need you to open it. Imagine discovering termites in your home. They don't make noise. They don't appear suddenly. They work slowly, silently, eating away at the structure of your house. By the time you notice them, the damage is already done. You call pest control not because you enjoy the service, but because you understand that pests can destroy your home from the inside. In the digital world, malware is the pest. It enters quietly, hides deeply, and spreads silently. It can steal your data, encrypt your files, spy on your activities, or turn your device into a weapon. Malware doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it sits quietly, waiting for instructions from a remote attacker. Sometimes it spreads across your network without triggering alarms. Sometimes it disguises itself as legitimate software. This is why antivirus exists. Antivirus is your digital pest control, a system designed to detect, isolate, and eliminate malicious software before it causes damage. A modern antivirus is far more advanced than the simple scanners of the past. Today's antivirus uses artificial intelligence, behavioral analysis, and real-time monitoring to identify threats that have never been seen before. It doesn't just look for known signatures, it looks for suspicious behavior, a program trying to access sensitive files, a process encrypting data rapidly, a script attempting to connect to unknown servers. It watches your system the way pest control experts watch for signs of infestation, subtle changes, unusual patterns, unexpected movements. Without antivirus, you are blind to the threats inside your own house. With antivirus, you have a system that constantly scans for danger, isolates infected files, and prevents malware from spreading. It is not perfect. No security system is, but it is essential. Because pests don't stop on their own. They grow, they multiply, they destroy. Your digital house needs protection from the inside as much as from the outside. Antivirus is that protection. Even with strong locks, strong keys, strong guards, and strong monitoring, disasters can still happen. Fires can break out, floods can destroy property, accidents can occur. That is why people buy insurance. Not because they expect disaster, but because they understand that life is unpredictable. In the digital world, backups are your insurance. They are the copies of your data stored safely away from your main system. They are the safety net that protects you when everything else fails. If ransomware encrypts your files, backups allow you to restore them. If your device crashes, backups allow you to recover your work. If your system is compromised, backups allow you to rebuild. Backups are not just copies. They are lifelines. They are the difference between recovery and ruin. The Colonial Pipeline attack is a perfect example. When ransomware hit the company, they were forced to shut down operations. They paid $4.4 million in ransom because they didn't have reliable backups. If they had maintained strong, isolated, up-to-date backups, they could have restored their systems without paying a single dollar. Backups must be stored securely, ideally offline or in isolated cloud environments. They must be updated regularly. They must be tested to ensure they work. A backup that cannot be restored is not a backup, it is a false sense of security. Insurance protects your home. Backups protect your digital life. To truly understand cybersecurity, you must see it in action. Visual demonstrations reveal the invisible world of digital threats in ways words cannot. A password cracking simulation shows how quickly a weak password falls. You watch as the system tries millions of combinations per second, breaking simple passwords in moments. It is a chilling reminder that your lock must be strong. A phishing email breakdown reveals the subtle tricks attackers use: the misspelled domain, the fake urgency, the disguised link. You see how easy it is to fall for a message that looks legitimate. A firewall visualization shows data flowing in and out of your network. You watch as the firewall blocks suspicious traffic, allowing only safe connections. It is like watching a guard stop intruders at the gate. A patch management demonstration shows how updating software closes vulnerabilities. You see how a single update can prevent a massive attack. These demonstrations are not just educational, they are warnings. They show you how the intruder thinks, how they move, how they exploit weaknesses, and once you see these things, you understand why cybersecurity is not optional, it is essential. In the physical world, protecting your home requires more than just locks and guards. You need a combination of tools: alarms, cameras, reinforced doors, motion sensors, and emergency plans. Each tool plays a different role, and together they create a layered defense system. In cybersecurity, the same principle applies. No single tool can protect your digital house. You need layers, multiple defenses working together, each covering the weaknesses of the others. One of the most important tools is the password manager, a secure vault that stores all your passwords in encrypted form. Instead of relying on memory or writing passwords on paper, the password manager generates strong, unique passwords for every account and stores them safely. It becomes the master key to your digital house, a key that is protected by encryption so strong that even if someone steals the vault, they cannot open it. Another essential tool is the multi-factor authentication (MFA) app, which generates time-based codes that change every few seconds. This ensures that even if someone steals your password, they cannot access your account without the second factor. It is the digital equivalent of requiring both a key and a fingerprint to enter your home. Antivirus software acts as your internal defense system, constantly scanning for malicious activity. It detects threats that have already entered your system and isolates them before they spread. Modern antivirus tools use artificial intelligence to identify new types of malware, analyzing behavior rather than relying solely on known signatures. Firewalls serve as your external defense, monitoring incoming and outgoing traffic. They examine every packet of data, checking its origin, destination, and purpose. If something looks suspicious, the firewall blocks it instantly. Advanced firewalls can even analyze encrypted traffic, using machine learning to detect anomalies. VPNs, virtual private networks, add another layer of protection by encrypting your internet connection. They hide your online activity from attackers, preventing them from intercepting your data or tracking your movements. A VPN is like traveling through a private tunnel instead of walking through a crowded street. For organizations, SIEM systems, security information and event management are essential. They collect logs from every device, analyze patterns, and detect unusual behavior. SIEM systems act like a central command center, giving security teams a real-time view of the entire digital environment. But TUIs alone are not enough. You need frameworks, structured approaches that guide your security strategy. The NIST Cybersecurity Framework provides a roadmap for identifying, protecting, detecting, responding to, and recovering from cyber threats. It is used by governments and corporations worldwide because it transforms cybersecurity from a reactive process into a proactive one. ISO 27001 is another powerful framework focusing on building an information security management system, ISMS. It ensures that organizations follow consistent, repeatable processes to protect data. It is the digital equivalent of building a house according to strict architectural standards. The CIS controls provide a prioritized list of security actions that offer the highest return on investment. They focus on practical steps, inventorying devices, securing configurations, managing vulnerabilities, and controlling access. And then there is Zero Trust architecture, a modern approach that assumes no one, not even internal users, should be trusted by default. Every request must be verified, every action must be authenticated, every device must be validated. Zero Trust is the digital equivalent of requiring identification at every door inside your home, not just the front entrance. These tools and frameworks form the backbone of cybersecurity. They are the systems that protect your digital house from the silent intruder. But they only work if you use them consistently, correctly, and intelligently. Cybersecurity is not a one-time action. It is a continuous process, a lifestyle, a habit, a mindset. Just as you lock your doors every night without thinking, you must adopt digital habits that protect your online life automatically. One of the most important habits is updating your software regularly. Every update contains patches that fix vulnerabilities. When you ignore updates, you leave your windows open. When you install them, you close those windows before the intruder can slip inside. Updates are not annoyances, they are shields. Another essential practice is using strong, unique passwords for every account. This prevents a single breach from compromising your entire digital house. A password manager makes this easy, generating and storing complex passwords automatically. Enabling MFA is another critical habit. It adds a second layer of protection that stops most attacks instantly. Even if your password is stolen, MFA prevents unauthorized access. Backing up your data regularly ensures that you can recover from ransomware, hardware failure, or accidental deletion. Backups must be stored securely, ideally offline or in isolated cloud environments. Monitoring your accounts for unusual activity helps you detect intrusions early. Many services offer login alerts, device notifications, and activity logs. Reviewing these regularly is like checking your CCTV footage. Limiting access rights is another powerful practice. Not everyone needs admin privileges. Not every device needs full access. Restricting permissions reduces the damage an intruder can cause. Training yourself and others to recognize phishing attempts is essential. Social engineering is the most common attack method, and awareness is the best defense. These practices may seem simple, but they form the foundation of a strong cybersecurity posture. They are the daily habits that keep your digital house safe. Despite the importance of cybersecurity, many people make mistakes that expose them to danger. These mistakes are not signs of ignorance. They are signs of human nature. We trust too easily. We act too quickly. We underestimate the risks. And hackers exploit these tendencies with precision. One of the most common mistakes is reusing passwords. It is convenient, but it's dangerous. When one account is breached, all your accounts become vulnerable. It is like using the same key for your home, your office, your car, and your safe. Lose it once and everything is compromised. Another mistake is ignoring software updates. People delay updates because they seem inconvenient, but every delay leaves your system exposed. Hackers actively search for outdated software because they know it contains vulnerabilities. Clicking on suspicious links is another major mistake. Phishing emails are designed to look legitimate. They use fear, urgency, and curiosity to make you act without thinking. A single click can install malware, steal credentials, or redirect you to a fake website. Storing sensitive data without encryption is another dangerous habit. Unencrypted data is like leaving valuables on your table instead of locking them in a safe. Using public Wi-Fi without protection exposes your data to interception. Attackers can set up fake networks, capture traffic, and steal information. Giving admin access to everyone is another mistake. Admin privileges should be limited to those who absolutely need them. Otherwise, a single compromised account can lead to total system takeover. These mistakes are common because they are easy to make. But once you understand the risks, you can avoid them. Cybersecurity may seem overwhelming, but you can start with simple, actionable steps. For individuals, the first step is to secure your personal devices. Install updates, enable MFA, use a password manager, and back up your data. These actions create a strong foundation. Next, learn to recognize phishing attempts. Study examples, understand the red flags, and practice caution. Treat every unexpected message as a potential threat. Then build a home cybersecurity setup. Use a firewall, install antivirus, secure your Wi-Fi with a strong password, and disable unnecessary features. For companies, the first step is to implement zero trust principles. Verify every request, authenticate every user, and validate every device. Next, conduct regular security audits, identify vulnerabilities, patch them quickly, and monitor systems continuously. Then, train employees. Human error is the biggest risk, and training reduces that risk significantly. Finally, create an incident response plan. Know what to do when an attack occurs. Preparation reduces panic and speeds recovery. These steps transform cybersecurity from a concept into a practice, something you do every day to protect your digital life. There is a moment, usually late at night, when the world becomes quiet. Your devices rest silently. Your digital house stands still. And somewhere, in the shadows of the internet, the intruder waits. They do not break windows. They do not force doors. They do not make noise. They wait for you to forget. They wait for you to slip. They wait for you to leave a window open. Cybersecurity is not about fear. It is about awareness. It is about responsibility. It is about protecting the digital life you have built, your identity, your memories, your money, your work, your future. Your digital house is valuable. Your digital house is vulnerable. Your digital house needs protection. And now, you know how to protect it. If this cinematic journey opened your eyes to the invisible world of cybersecurity, imagine what the next module will reveal. Subscribe to Knowitrix. Share this video with someone who needs to understand the digital threats around them. And join us as we continue exploring the hidden world of cyber defense. Your safety begins with knowledge. Your knowledge begins here.